Hi guys, yes it is Patch Saturday, the new 1.3 patch which we've all been waiting for on Anthem. A nice big long of bug fixes and updates, so just get into the game and see what it's like. So you'll notice the first thing is the R key to start an exhibition. This is really handy because you don't have to go to your javelin to start any mission or contract. So here I can just go into any stronghold, so we decided to take a look at Grandmaster 1, Tyrant Mine, and give that a go and see what it's like. So there's a couple of things in this release here which I noticed. The first one was that the R obviously is during the dungeon. That was a big change. I think Grandmaster 1 difficulty is still the same. Here I am lightning spec and literally taking mobs out with either one or two shots, so it's not really that difficult. I think Grandmaster 2 is still the same. I did Grandmaster 2 after this. The Grandmaster 2 took about 33 minutes I think, which wasn't too bad. Oh, you can see here, the first time I connect to the server, there's a connection problem. So that's not very good, but obviously it's a new patch update and there are going to be some teething issues when new patches are released. But generally the performance of the servers were okay. There were a few more glitches I had with the server when I updated to the latest patch. A couple of these are on the video. The first one on this video here, you'll see when we get to the second part of Tyrant Mines and we come to enter the bit where all the spiders are and you've got to collect all the things to put them into the what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it now. But basically that bit with all the spiders. I got locked out of there and I couldn't actually get in. But then I noticed there was an F to open the door, and I don't know whether that was there before, but I managed to open like the big circle door to get in there. So that's good. Another thing I had was when I did start a contract, my head was missing from my javelin, which is a bit weird, so I was running around headless. But this is you can see this at the end of the video. It's quite funny actually. So that's that. And what else did I see? Oh, they've basically renumbered all of the equipment. So before my character was level 388, now it's level 630 now. So every single component is being renumbered. The legendary ones are 75, I think, the legendary items. The masterwork items are about 61, so they have just totally renumbered absolutely everything. I also noticed that when doing these Grandmaster videos, that so the Grandmaster run, the loot has changed now, so you don't get white and green drops in here anymore. You only get everything from blue and upwards. So before we were getting a lot of unnecessary drops in Grandmaster mode, but now we only get blue, purple, masterwork and legendary. So that is a big change also. I particularly liked some of the Titan changes that BioWare have done in EA games. Did notice that once I approach a lesser Titan, much easier to kill. So from the patch website, we've got a couple of changes here, so I'll just go through these. Reduced overall damage mitigation from 100% between 70 and 75 depending on the damage type. So that's going to be good for some people because I do notice a lot of people die when fighting Titans. Increase the time that weak points are exposed. This is particularly useful, especially when you're hitting a Titan and you just get 0 damage. The fixed an issue that prevented effects from applying and thus preventing combos. I noticed that time and time again. Increase the damage the Titan takes from weak point hits. I thought the damage that the Titan took from weak point was okay. I didn't think it needed improving, but maybe a few people complained about it, and therefore we've got easy to kill Titans now. Lesser Titans' weak points have been changed to always be active. So I noticed this in the Lesser Titan. You can basically you don't need to wait for the weak point now. You can basically just see the weak point all the time and kill them really easily. Improve the collision on the ring and seeking projectile attacks. This should make them easier to dodge. Yes, those projectiles are an absolute nightmare, to be honest with you, especially if you're fighting with Colossus, who is a slow-ass javelin who cannot get away from those things quickly enough. Interceptor, yes, it's super easy to do with Interceptor because you can just bolt around everywhere. Storm, it is relatively easy, and I think it's only Colossus that has an issue because it's so slow. Decrease the radius of the seeking projectile attack and decrease the damage done by the self-destructibility. Yeah, that self-destructibility does take a few people, I have to say. And it's nice to see that that's been changed. So fighting here, Grandmaster, you can see that I took some damage there and died. Not really looking to see where the enemies were, but you know, that's life. This is like my whole life. So again, from the EA website, we've got just loads of improvements. So there was an audio bug that has been fixed now, but I'll try that because my audio kept switching itself off all the time. There's general stability improvements as well. There's loads of general fixes and improvements. If you want the full list, go to the EA Games website, but just a number of them. Couldn't access the Forge, where you couldn't get in, or you couldn't actually get into a mission from the Forge. That was a bit of an issue, but it's been fixed now. The inbox now works properly. It wasn't working properly before. It's now like a news feed now. I had a few issues with that. All missions should properly end now when conditions have been met. The time and the amount of times that I've had an issue with a mission where I go through and it hasn't actually completed, even though everything's been done. That was a nightmare, but now hopefully that's been fixed. Server shutdown messages should appear less often. I'm just going down this list here. Quick plane to a stronghold has been added back to the game. Players should no longer get stuck at the end of the Tomb of General Tarsus mission. Never experienced that. What else have we got here? Players may now launch an expedition from anywhere within the launch bay and Fort Tarsus, which we've already been through. Halleck will now properly face players during certain dialogue scenes. Yeah, I saw that. Especially the bit where you're about to do the Heart of Rage mission, and then you kind of you're speaking into his ear. And what else have we got? The values on max flight time inscriptions have been increased. Yes, that's. I did notice that those inscriptions weren't worth having at all. Titan updates we've already been through. There's some damage and item scaling changes, gameplay bug fixes. The ultimate ability bar will no longer appear full at the start of the mission when it isn't actually full. A few issues I had with that as well, so that's been fixed. A number of animation issues have been fixed, so yeah, there's loads of stuff there. There's been item balance updates as well. Increase the base health of the wing wall and bulwark point to provide better scaling in higher difficulties. Yes, I think wing wall definitely needed an upgrade, because if you have a hunter, say a Scar Hunter, start shooting, wind wall go down in seconds. It does. That wind wall does not last very long at all. And flat cannons damage being increased from 46 to 30. So there's a couple of balance changes there. Item bug fixes, so wind wall should no longer block or interfere with other players' abilities. I know this was an issue with other javelins. Inscription bug fixes. Thrust delay recovery inscription is now correctly applying on a bonus. The overheat delay recovery inscription is now applying correctly on a bonus. The weapon reload bonus inscription is now correctly applying a bonus. Yeah, okay. So these will have non-text values until the next patch. Okay, fine. So loads of changes here. There's been changes with the masterwork items, weapons, guns. So there's a list of guns there, and there's been masterwork bug fixes. So Ralma's Blaze, Abat, I can't speak. Ablative shielding now provides the proper boost in shield and armour. Badge of Devastation will now generate more ultimate charge when triggered. It should no longer be possible to stack the effect from the Gunslinger's mark more than once. So loads and loads and loads of changes have happened there, and you can see that the guys at EA Games have been hard at work, hard at work. So I guess this is the time to see how this game performs and just see what improvements it has made to the game for you. Now I know quite a number of people have been moaning about the updates. Lots of requests have been put in. They've been working hard on it. So I think a lot of those updates, which people wanted to see, have been sorted now. We'll just have to see how it goes. On Reddit, there's quite a number of queries. There is a mega thread going along that the moderator has asked for people to pass their queries to see any updates or any queries there. The 1.03 patch is live. That's been announced now on Reddit. If you don't know anything about the Reddit section for Anthem, it is Anthem the game, and you can see all the information there. BioWare, what have you done to the loot? Intentional or not? Do not revert it. Yeah, there we go. I'll let you read that. It's positive and negative, but you know, as all these posts are, it's like that. Twice now we've been caught a glimpse of increased drop rates. Yes, I did actually notice I didn't get any legendary drops on Grandmaster 1 or Grandmaster 2. I know the legendary has been, I don't think it's been changed in terms of percentage chance of drops, I think. But I didn't find any legendary items while I was doing this. There's been lots of moaning about BioWare, what are you doing? Thanks BioWare for killing the high loot after the patch. Yeah, I noticed that. Where, I mean, I've got some masterwork items, that's fine. And what I could do with is like a masterwork Windward, if that is ever going to drop. I've been running the epic version of Windward now for how long? Since the game, a couple of days after the game came out, I got that, and it's just been, it's just taken ages. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I'm going to continue play tonight just to see what happens with the drops. I mean, with these hot fixes, there's been loads and loads of changes, so we just have to go through and see what the game gives us. So after Tyrant 9 was completed, I decided to have a look around Fort Tarsis to see if there had been any major changes with Fort Tarsis. There's Zoe still moaning about Serena bringing a Koroks into the fort. That hasn't been changed, obviously, so I'm just going to keep hearing that every single time. Looking at the featured store, I don't think there's been a lot of changes there, just the ones that they want to show you for this week. Yeah, not a lot there. I think the general population in the market is about the same. Still the same people there. Nothing really has changed with Fort Tarsis at all. I'm just looking at the steps here. I can't remember whether those two people were there before. To be honest with you, it's been quite a long time since I've actually walked around here. So nothing major there. The Legion is still there. The old nun, the lady who really loves me, is still outside of that entrance there. So it's still the same. So we were going to have a look at the forge, weren't we? So just to show you the item level there, I'm now 630, which is quite a lot. So my fire and ice is 625, my lightning is 630. So you can see some of the levels of the gear here. So looking at what I've got equipped, see the epic, so the legendary ones are 75, the masterwork ones are 61, and the epic ones are lower, so 38 there. So you'll see that the level of your javelin has severely changed, so it would have gone up if obviously you've got like, higher items. So that was one of the main things I noticed about the patch update. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, I start a mission without any head, and here it is.
I'm interested in a particular area.
All in all, guys, I think the patches that have been applied are quite good. There to develop the game, feedback off the people has been listened to, some positive, some negative. The guys have taken a constructive approach to that and started to apply these patches in the game, listening to feedback. So I think that's relatively good. I don't think there's been any major changes which would really limit me now. The Titans have been made easier, there's been a balance of weapons. Grandmaster 1, Grandmaster 2 still seems the same. I have not yet tried Grandmaster 3, but I am expecting it to be the same. The only thing I did notice that the loot drops for Legendary have been, well, I didn't get any on 2 attempts in the mine. I'm not saying that I should, but particularly on Grandmaster 2, I did get a Legendary the last time I did that. This time I haven't. I think maybe they could look at increasing the percentage drop chance for those items in those strongholds, but you know, it is what it is. So that's it, guys. That's the patch update for March the 9th 2019 for Anthem on the PC. This is my PC. This is a NVIDIA 2080 RTX running this on an Intel 9900K. So that's the performance. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. As usual, like, subscribe, and hope this has been good for you. See you later.